All right. I just finished this chapter. It was a long chapter this time. Longish, I guess. And there's a lot that we could talk about, and I'm sure I'll get to some of that. But I do want to bring up this fiddler's part at the end here, because sometimes I forget how much I love Fiddler. Like at times he's my very, very favorite, but because sometimes he's just not doing as exciting stuff, and he's so internal with a lot of um his uh his dialogue, and the stuff that's around him. um Sometimes I forget how much I love Fiddler, and I am starting to come around a little more on some of these bone hunters. I mean, Throat Slitter is like my favorite, and Dead Smell, and I do like the banter, and even though I don't remember all of the details around them, they have like this common, spirit's the wrong word, but like this common, they do have this commonality about them in the way they speak with each other, even though they are very different at times. But I like seeing them. I like seeing their banter about their doubts and their hopes, and wondering where this is going to go. And here, Fiddler at the end, I loved this when we were in House of Chains, when he was having a lot of that internal struggle, the same as Tavor was, the same as the one with Duiker's horse, who he was having some internal sorts of struggles with all this, the same as the kind of the what was his name? It started with a G, but he worked for the Perrins. Um, and Fiddler just keeps having this, and I love Fiddler, and I love Whiskey Jack because of this. As he's walking, and he just wants to let go, Whiskey Jack's voice comes to him, and even though we don't have Whiskey Jack like tangibly with these guys, the biggest influence about Whiskey Jack wasn't the might of his arm, but it was the wisdom that he imposed, and the love that he had, and I don't know, all of that. And this is what he hears in his mind, either happening, or just because he's just been that influenced by Whiskey Jack. But I don't know. Seems like this was actually something being whispered. You'll do right, soldier, speaking of Fiddler, because you don't know how to do anything else. Doing right, soldier, is the only thing you're good at. And if it hurts, too bad. Besides, you ain't alone, as you think you are. Which is a powerful sort of statement to give, considering we are expecting the bridge burners to show up somewhere here, but if they don't, then hopefully the influence of people who have been influenced by Whiskey Jack and have those same sorts of values, like the Bone Hunters have some interesting values as well. And I just love that. And he just kept walking. Um, Very, very cool thing. There's a lot cool with this. We get back to, we're expecting dragons to show up, but when dragons are all together, they start to get a little wild. I liked the stuff with Silchus, and I don't know if I've mentioned it yet, but the Hust swords, which we know what they were meant for now. What else have I? We've gotten more about Omtos Falak, which we know it's not just about putting cold somewhere, but it's like an aspect of something larger than it that like feeds, that like creates that. I might be understanding it wrong, but it's related to some other things, and it feels like it's related to time. It makes the prologues of the ones with Mael and Gothos just that much more interesting, and I can't wait to reread it with that knowledge of you got hints of it before, but it's just going to be so amazing. Um, really, really interested in seeing what happens when the Elaint start doing their thing, and really like I am so interested in what's going to happen um, with the whole crippled god stuff. I mean, this is named after him. We've known he's been kind of at the center of a lot of it, but it's like he's been this shield anvil, taking on. I don't want to. I'm an idiot sometimes, so I'm not going to. But I'm just thinking out loud here. Those five ones that were playing as Teblor gods who we hated. Curious about them as well. This chapter also had a good part with Gruntle, and he's thinking of Harlow, the kid and the namesake, thinking of Stawny. Really, really love that character. Just looking back here, I don't know if there's anything specific. I think I will get to where I'm breaking down what I'm getting out of these scenes a little more. Oh yeah, and they had this this worship of the black-winged god in the longest night every 10 years. That was an interesting part, to say the least. We have a joke, another Ooblala joke with the pigs will like run away. A half a pig, but half a pig can't run away. It would sort of have to hop. He's just such a goofball, right? I wish I could hear what Throat Slitter's laugh sounds like. Anyway, very cool, very cool. I still haven't been writing notes. I think I'll start to write notes again in my little notebook here as we are going along, so I can kind of point to some of these major things. And I just want to bring up Yedan Derrig again. People have said that, even Steven Erikson has said that he's kind of like the he would be right up there in terms of capable fighters, and if that's the case, then of course we want him to be at the shore. Of course we want that. And if he is a part of, he's the Knight of Shadow, so of course he would be totally capable. And I start to think, well, what would happen with him and Cotillion fighting? And this whole stuff with Shadow is so interesting. But now, with how big of a deal the shore is, that's who we want. That's who we want at that front line. So I will stop the Yedan Derrig slander, because I do really like that character. And I keep saying that I don't love all these characters at times, but it's not true. I do like them. I just forget the details. And then when I have the details reminded, I love them all over again. So anyway, going into chapter 15. Looks like we're about halfway through the book almost. So talk to you soon.